is going to be Aberration versus Petroleum. And we're going to go hang out in some snow for a bit. We're going to be going out and hanging out on Mount Ormond here. And I do like this killer pool. It does look like we've got a killer pool of the Demogorgon, the Doctor, and the Hillbilly. If you had to guess here, Slow, what type of killer choices are you anticipating us seeing?
Oh, this is definitely a tough one, as all three killers can be very viable on this map. But for this particular matchup, I must predict that it's going to be either the Demogorgon on the Hillbilly. Mount Ormond Resort's generally a really big map. You kind of do need the map pressure you get from killers like Hillbilly and the Demogorgon. For Billy as well, quite a few unsafe pallets. If you like flicking around pallets with your chainsaw, then this is definitely going to be a really fun time for you here on Mount Ormond Resort. And this is a match that I have been personally so excited for, as Mount Ormond Resort is one of the pretty much always banned maps in the map roulette here, as we've seen in the qualification stage before. But now we finally get to see Mount Ormond Resort being in play here in Beyond the Stars, and by two wonderful teams who have been fighting their way through the qualification stage, Aberration and Petroleum. I'm just really excited. What about you, Q?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very good matchup. Two teams you mentioned that did fight through the qualification, and two teams who have been doing pretty decent in comp lately. Kind of a little bit of newcomers, but kind of been making a name for themselves as of late. So I'm going to be interested to see who comes out on top here. So we're going to go ahead and go ahead and set up these lobbies here and bring the matchup of Aberration versus Petroleum to y'all after a very quick break. All right, let's take another trip on back into the fog. And guess what? We happened to show up in the snowstorm here, and we found Dir3Wolf was in the snowstorm this week. We happened to find him here. Welcome back, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just survived the Ormond Resort in real life here. My internet coming back, but what am I watching for my return? That was a huge opener here on the Ormond Resort with the Hillbilly. This is absolutely not how you want to start the game. Pain Resonance coming in the distance there, doing a little bit of work. Interesting pick for a Hillbilly though, but this is how you want to get your game started.
Yeah, and the Pain Resonance, that tells me that our Hillbilly's coming in with a whole bunch of confidence. We're going to be expecting to accrue up those hook states here, hoping to be able to get not only the regression, but the information of where to go next, kind of like we saw here. And at this point, you can keep an eye on the one generator over here that has the most progress, or at least did have the most progress. You can also hear that middle gen. Doesn't sound like anyone's been touching that thing here yet either. So Boltar right now in a very good spot. With the early down, as we often stay, really just kind of gives the Boltar here an option to camp this first stage for free.
Yeah, exactly. For free is the correct description there, because when we are looking on the average Billy performance, it takes a few minutes into the trial most of the time until the first down is coming through. So you can really take the time, push into struggle phase here. Unfortunately, you're not able to cruise over the mountain here. We do see scratch marks left and right. So survivors are over here now. The curve around this tile, finding the lorry. That means one survivor is in chase, one needs to rotate over, get the save, and that reduces the generator efficiency to just one survivor across the team, which is not going to be a lot. And we do see a great idea to return in a perfect moment. So eliminating this survivor here is going to be potentially easy.
Yeah, and I mean, we do see coming over here that is actually going to be continuing the chase back towards that generator that we know had the most progress, at least that when we got our very first hook here. And this is going to be back into the corner, now moving into the long TL wall. This is our survivor that is still injured, so it does mean you don't necessarily need to use your chainsaw in order to establish the down. Instead, going to be getting the grab here through the window. And since we don't have the decisive strike, this is going to be hook stage number 2, and we have only seen one generator so far. Right now, we are really... Oh, sorry, hook stage number 3, because we've seen hook stage number 2 first. This is a 3v1, and we've only seen one gen pop. This is tough.
I also want to point out the grab there. A lot of killers, like, normally you want the elimination so quickly. A lot of killers would have just gone for the M1 there, and our killer finds the time to just say, this is going to end in a grab, I'm just going to pull it. So you talked about the confidence earlier, really shining on Bolitar here. So we do see now that the killer is trying to go for the mind game on the Shack. A generator is being completed. Now we do see Shack pallet leading into the low pro chain value. So Adam is going to continue this chase as injured, and this puts the pressure on the survivor, because now an M1 would be enough to put the survivor down. We do see filler pellet gaming here. Low pro chains not going to be used for a run. You just want to zone the survivor back towards the Shack here. I do feel like we need some additional seconds out of this chase, otherwise it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, but I was about to say it's Adam, and Adam's the juicer, but unfortunately Adam getting caught out of position here, and this is now going to be another hook state here, and we haven't seen any other gens. We know this one over here is going to have quite a bit of progress. We'll see here as far as with the pain resonance, if there is another gen farther, and there is indeed one. That's going to be the one all the way across the map. I don't know if I invest going all the way over there, however. I mean, we can at least keep an eye on this gen. We know the other gen back behind us has quite a bit of progress, but at the same time, you know, look across the map. There are two gens that are quite a bit away. This gen, at least being a little bit, I would say, closer to the hook. You can hear nobody on this gen, though, and I think at this point, if I'm Bolter, I'm definitely doubling back to this hook. I was going to say I would have camped into the second stage, but we see our survivors very good about getting this unhooked very fast.
They're doing a good job over here, dropping the pallet early as well to keep it safe. Now linking it into the window. Good pathing, unfortunately not with a lot of distance. So therefore it's going to be the next down. Don't need to worry about a decisive strike here. So you do just go for the next hook stage and collecting your points. One generator to go still, so you do have a little bit of time. Pain resonance taking care about the generator at the Shack. Unfortunately, you can see for our killer here that the survivor team has done a great job taking care about the generators and making sure that there's not going to be a close setup. So one of these generators is cross map, but one survivor was just in chase, and now we're switching over to the lorry here. So if you will be able to keep an eye on them, and this is exactly how you do that, you expect them to cross in the main building here and double back or go back in the right second here, then we might see elimination down to the 2v1, which would, with one generator remaining, mean that we are close to the chance of a 4K.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, big props to the game sense that we've been seeing thus far from Boltar. Like, every time we curve here to get the down as well. That's going to get yourself another hook state here, and then the at this point, I was going to say, I thought we were going to be seeing the elimination onto the Atom. Instead, we are going to be seeing the Atom in the backside here. We also know that the Atom is already injured, and they're already going to be able to be removed from the trial with one more hook state here. And I believe that's going to be the easy decision to go ahead and go with the tunnel here. Going to go with the able to get that down. Oh my gosh, he is absolutely playing out of his mind right now.
Jesus Christ, what a control over the chainsaw. And we do need to say, right, Almond Resort is not a usual competitive map. So this hillbilly prepared so well for his match here, really learned where to curve and how to curve, and pull the most out of this map here. Great preparation by our team here. It's going to be Bolitar now with this swing to drop a little bit quicker, holding the chainsaw, kind of wants to make a decision. Which generator are we going for? It's going to be the Shack one. No survivor over here, as the survivor team of Petroleum now also needs to be really careful what's going to be the next step in order to not allow Bolitar taking over.
Yeah, and this is going to be tough. But we do find Lori here, heading away from this gen. Now moving to a corner of the map that we really haven't taken much space in, just to keep in mind. That does mean we do have a couple of resources. Instead, though, Lori opting to go back to the main building, which of course does have quite a few resources in its own right. We do see, though, Boltar playing this very, very patiently, going to see if you can force. Oh, you were able to force Lori out. Oh, the chainsaw not going to be able to get it down. I'll tell you what, having that chainsaw around the backside, that'll turn a sphincter into a sinker real quick. Instead, though, able to keep the composure. And at this point, we might be seeing Ace completing generator number 5.
Yeah, Lori has done a really good job here in the main building, also forcing Bolita into losing track. Now we are overheating as well, so that's going to be a lack of the mobility for a few seconds, but these few seconds might be enough to get the generator number 5 out of the way here, which would be really needed, because against the Hillbilly you really want these objectives out of the way. It's going to happen now, so 10 points being taken by the Survivor team here at minimum for these generators. Now we do see Ace being in chase. If you can survive for a little bit on this shack, as we do not have a no way out, Lori could potentially attack one of these exit gates here. So this chase might decide between 4K and 1 out.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it definitely looked like there for a moment that Boltar was looking at a very confident chance at a 4K here, and instead we do see Petroleum turning up the heat, able to get the Survivor out across the way. Not only able to get a Survivor out the door, but that's a fresh hook Survivor as well. That's some very important points heading into this next trial.
Oh dear, first of all, I want to say that I'm glad that my internet just came back for this match, because this was absolutely amazing. And I just want to point it out again, Almond Resort is really not a usual Hillbilly map in competitive DBD. So yeah. Bolita here, so prepared, so on point for Aberration. I mean, this is how we know Aberration, right? They are well prepared, they are putting up the surprises, but especially Billy on Almond, it's so impressive, and it's going to be one hell of a challenge for Petroleum here.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. So with such a steep wind condition, do you expect to see Petroleum also respond with a Hillbilly, or do you think that there's a chance that we see the Doctor or the Demogorgon come out?
I do think the Hillbilly is really strong on this map based on his mobility. It's a huge map. You want the mobility, but if you don't get the downs, it's going to be huge. Like, we need to see a strong early game, and there I'm thinking, couldn't the Doctor potentially, or the Demogorgon with the chase potential, the shocks, etc., fix that for you? But then you're lacking the mobility. So all I can say is I don't want to be in the position right now to make that decision here for Team Petroleum, but I do think, if I need to make a prediction, I think we're going to see the mirror match.
Yeah, I think it's the only thing that makes sense here, especially because you saw how, I mean, the wind condition being so steep, right? We're talking about 9 stages just for the tie. Really, if you want to get the win, you need 10 stages, fresh hooks across the board. And while the Demogorgon would have the ability to, once having the portal set up, traverse the map in a way that Hillbilly can't, or similar to, I guess, a way that Hillbilly can, a Hillbilly just has that one-shot potential. And if you're able to get the downs, like you were saying, like we just saw, you might be able to match that performance. It's going to be tough, though. So like you said, I'm definitely don't feel bad that it's not me in the shoes of Petroleum's killer right now. This is going to be a tough match to come out to, but let's go ahead and get this match set up, and we'll be bringing that to you guys after a very quick break. All right, let's take another trip on back into the fog here. Back on Mount Orman here. This time, though, going to be seeing Petroleum's killer. And they have put down the pressure as far as being able to get the fresh out. But currently looking at an 8-point deficit. 21 for Aberration, 13 for Petroleum. Right now, our survivors, though, from Aberration trying to avoid the early down. We see Rev on the backside of the Nia, not going to be able to get the connection. Nia does have a safe power that you're going to be able to get up to here. And even with the low protein, you're going to be able to make it around to safety here in the main building.
Very, very good opening run by our Survivor team there. Would have been huge if the down is coming down that quickly into the trial, but This might be the chance. This is going to be crucial. You're getting stuck over here. So both hillbillies actually able to get the first down quite quickly into the trial here, which is really, really needed. And the difference is you have the basement hook here. So you're talking about the huge win condition, right? But you're starting this really well.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a hook about 90 seconds into the trial here. Being in the middle of the map does give you some ability to check on a couple of gens. Unfortunately, running into the wall, not exactly what you want to be doing while you're trying to push out to that generator outside by the tractor. And I think at this point is Momo basically saying, hey, I expect that to be popped, wanting to kind of check and see what our other gens are looking like here. And is also going to be using this time to break up the main building, breaks down that breakable wall here, breaks down the strength of this tile a little bit, gives Momo a couple other options to be able to push back towards the basement whenever that unhook comes in as well. And because you got the free down here, you do get the free camp. And we do see with the Rancor, though, we're really spread out across the board on these generators. So, I mean, you get the free hook, but they're attacking your gens right now and really splitting these things up. It's kind of a tough trade-off to take.
It is a difficult decision-making here for both sides, kind of, because you also have the moment very soon where you do go for the full elimination or try to get these fresh hooks in, because we do talk about a lot of points here, and the moment when going back will be crucial, as you do want to catch them before they have left the basement. What's working for you is that we are still kind of close towards the main building here, as it's so centered. And Ace going down here, you can actually take the down and going down towards the basement again and interrupt these survivors that are just about to leave the basement here. So you do force one healer to the stuck survivor. Meanwhile, you're trying to get the elimination over here, and if Nia's going down quickly, things are really looking in your favor.
Yeah, we do see, though, Nia doing a good job staying vertical here, making sure that we're taking more time from Momo. We saw generator number 3 popping, generator number 4 pops here as well, and we do see the down not going to be in the pallet space, so no chance for a pallet save. But we do get over, and we get the ace up off of the ground, so we at least are able to get everybody up right. Also got everybody reset here. 3 fresh survivors. Worth mentioning as we look around. Oh, get done, stupid, says Ace. Perfect timing on the pallet drop and right there onto Momo's face, but Momo responds back with a very nice low pro hit.
Very, very good to get this injury in, because now it will be an M1. That's enough to put this survivor onto the floor here. This pallet here really, really not safe, but our Ace is turning it into a shack pallet almost. What is this patience? Unfortunately, oh, they're getting it just in time after blocking each other. So this was absolutely insane to watch here from the survivor team, not allowing the down that quickly. 4 generators done. The last generator potentially on the way. Here's Arena going down now. Bolted is going to take the next hook stage, but we are just on 4. And even though it looked really good for the hillbilly at the start, now you do feel the pressure and the time running out near Magda. So we do need generator number 5. That actually is right away. 6 more stages to go for the win here. Yes, you do have a no way out 2 stacks, but it's still a difficult job.
Yeah, and I mean, at least at this point, you would have a little bit of a heads up whenever somebody happens to touch the door and happens to prop the no way out here. But we do see a sound notification back here at the shack, and unfortunately for our survivors, that sound notification is going to be over here by the Ace, who is our obsession. We are going to hear the no way out proxying across the way, so that means 36 seconds before our survivors can start powering up the doors themselves. Stepping through the window here is Momo, going to be using the bamboozle onto this window, going to be trying to set up for, I thought it was going to be a curve with the low pro, instead doing a good job zoning out our Ace. Ace is going to be forced to go back to the shack. Remember, we have already used this pallet here. This is a big risk. We got to remember, this was kind of similar to what we had seen at the end of the Rancid Abattoir set earlier. Throwing somebody right in front of somebody who has a chainsaw. So Tap is down over at the shack. We do still have a survivor that can be completely removed from the trial with the simple M1, that being the Ace. Ace might have been caught out of position. We see this pallet going down here. The only question is, where is our Zarina? Because if Zarina's on this door over here and has this door priming right now, this decision is huge because you now have Ace over here. You've got Tappas presumably on the hatch across the way. So if Ace can make a play, I don't think that's going to be the case, though. Ace not going to be able to make it to the pallet, and this is going to be at least the elimination here as well.
This is going to be an do you know how many stages Zarina is on, Q?
I do not know how many stages Zarina is on. I was trying to think, have we hooked Tab?
I'm not in. I will say, I don't want to be negative at all, but I don't know why they have gone for this play anyway, because even though it was a fresh hook going down, you were on 4 stages, right?
How did Tab, wait, didn't Tab go down over at the shack? Right?
How is he alive?
I have no idea. We saw that he had gotten picked up, but he crawled. Oh, wait a minute. Is that some tenacity value possibly? And he crawled? Yeah, tenacity over there.
So he crawled. Okay, but then
that's
huge.
huge.
But then I'm even more at my point, because this is a play where so many things need to fall together. I mean, it's big brain play. It worked out, but why taking the risk? Because you were at 4 stages, right? And they made this trade at the shack, but why? Even if the fresh survivor is dying, you're on 7. You still win this match.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a great play. Don't get me wrong here. It's a great play. Tenacity coming into clutch here, but you need the killer making that work as well, with not picking up and allowing you to go for that.
True.
So this was more than risky, and a lot of conditions had to come together to get this pulled off. So impressive performance, impressive idea, but very risky.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's easy for us to say, I guess, from up here, though, because we were able to keep an eye and know exactly what the score was at. But I do have to agree. I didn't even think about that, because you have so many stages across the way, and we are going to be looking at a final score here. Aberration moving on after a 36-30 victory here. So, I mean, honestly, a really good run by them. And I feel like Aberration's really been on a tear here recently.
Aberration has done so well in their matches, and I'm not too surprised that they're moving forward here. Congratulations, guys. And to Petroleum, though, confident performance as well. They have something to rely on for the loser bracket. They're moving forward. That pushes us into Dawn.